Fireworks or a race car. Doesn't have to be a race car. Use your imagination.
There's this cube on the screen, and it bounces around all day, and sometimes it looks like it's heading right into the corner of the screen, and then at the last minute it hits a wall and bounces away. And we are all just dying to see it go right into the corner. Ah, come on!
Yeah, I know.
It's never gonna happen.
Dude, here's what I was thinking.
You gotta believe.
Wait for it.
Like something that you have to look for.
Hello, and welcome to the Full Send Half Mast Podcast, episode 55. Tonight we got a lot to talk about. We're going to go over some news here with you guys. We're also going to get in depth with the Andretti F1 rejected bid for 2026. We're also going to recap the Busch Light Coliseum race this weekend, and we got some fun little drama and stuff to talk about there. Also, we're bringing back the Driver of the Week and Bonehead of the Week voting segments as well for you guys. We'll give you our nominees this week. We'll also give you a little precursor to our NASCAR fantasy for the Daytona 500 that just got updated, I believe today actually. So give you our first initial thoughts, and then we'll give you our final ones next Tuesday. And then also, if we get to it at the end, I'd like to cover a couple other things that we'd like to share with you guys. So hopefully we get to that if this podcast don't go forever tonight. But first off, Tom, how are you doing today, man? Looks like you're on the road again.
On the road, yep, here in a hotel room once again. But you know what? I bring my stuff so I could come out here for a podcast because I'm not gonna miss it.
Heck yeah.
I'm not gonna miss it.
Oh man, what a great episode we got in store for you today. But first off, we're gonna get a quick word from our sponsor, and we'll get right into it. W Energy Blends introducing Neurofactor, an all-natural coffee cherry extract to help fuel you with energy, laser focus, and fast reflexes. Provides concentration with important aminos and vitamins without the crash that ordinary canned energy drinks just cannot provide. Try amazing flavors such as Dragonade, Dub Sludge, Galaxy Grenade, and my personal favorite, Beach and Peach. Buy the starter pack today, including 2 flavors and a shake cup for an extremely low price. Follow the link in the description below and use promo code DAGABOYS for 10% off your order. Thanks to Dubby for their continued sponsorship of the Daga Boys broadcasting channel. Alrighty. Before we get right into the Andretti, it looks like we got Dalton in the chat. It says, hey, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming out here on Tuesday and watching the podcast. We got a big episode here for you tonight. Can't wait to get into it. Alrighty. Let's just start right off with the main talking point of the evening, and this is the Andretti F1 bid being rejected by Formula One. Not the FIA, but Formula One. Alrighty. I think we should just kind of bounce back and forth on this. I've got a few things to talk about. I got some notes here. Some copious notes, I guess you could say. For my biggest takeaways on this whole ordeal, right? We could get into depth and go through the entire laundry list of things that the Formula One committee went through to justify them not accepting Andretti, but we're not going to bore you with all of that lame, boring details here. We're going to give you our hot opinions on this. My first biggest takeaway with this Andretti denial or rejection by Formula One is what an absolute slap in the face this is to Renault, to the FIA, to France, the country France, the French people. I mean, this is absolutely embarrassing. They said that the Andretti would come into the sport and not be competitive right away, which I think is an absolute cop-out by the Formula One committee. We know that the FIA and Formula One committees have been kind of feuding as of late, and this just seems like FIA accepts Andretti, wants Andretti, got him through all this process with Andretti, and then Andretti wants to come in with GM, and GM's working on a product to come into Formula One by 2028. They're doing everything it takes to be competitive and come in at the right time. And Renault wants to supply Andretti with a power unit for their first couple of years in Formula One. And then then Formula One goes out and says, oh, they wouldn't be competitive. Andretti wouldn't be competitive if they joined. Well, you already have Renault in there building power units anyway, and they were willing to offer one to Andretti to be competitive. So what a slap in the face that was to Renault. Do you agree with that sentiment or that take? But I feel like this is, if I'm Renault, I've got to be pissed right now, like beyond belief.
I think that the whole not competitive argument is null and void because Haas. What about Williams a couple years back? You know, what about when we had Manor in here, or Marussia, or the list goes on and on. Honda BAR. I mean, it's just asinine, the hypocrisy that was thrown around there. Now I know they probably have this inadequate idea of expanding the sport competitively, but I feel like it's some of the same stuff that we see with NASCAR, how they don't want to expand, and they're doing everything possible to not expand. I I don't get it. And there was an argument, Jay, that it would cost a lot for the tracks to upgrade to another garage. But we are in the most rich boy club that you could be a part of in the world, other than the Illuminati. I mean, the FIA F1 group is just a big Housewives of LA show. It's just I don't to me it doesn't make sense. I want it to make sense because I'd like a logical explanation, but I can't find it.
Yeah, and like you said with the competitive thing as well, who was the only team that was competitive at all last year? It was one team, so you would basically have to eliminate 9 of the grid teams.
There's been 2 teams that has been consistently competitive in the past 10, 11 years, and that's Mercedes 10 years. That's been Mercedes and Red Bull. Ferrari had a run in 19, I think it was, or 18. But that was it.
Yeah, nobody else has been competitive. Not even
close. So what are we aiming at here? Really?
Yeah, it's unrealistic. The whole thing, and the disrespect to the FIA as well.
Yeah.
It's absolutely appalling. Like, this is something you expect from the FIA to do, not Formula One. And FIA is 100% on board with Andretti. They've been in talks with Andretti. They're actually wanting Andretti to keep developing this car, and that's what they're doing right now. They're continuing to develop this car. It's crazy.
And Andretti even came out with a statement that said, we weren't even eyeing 2024. We were eyeing 2025.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean? This wasn't even our application. Our application was for 2025. We have a car right now that we're building and that we're putting through the tests of the wind tunnel tests and shock tests, 7-post, whatever. But they even admitted themselves they weren't going to be ready in 2024.
Yeah, and they don't even have a power unit yet. They're in talks with Renault for a power unit. But even like I said, even if they got Renault's power unit, they're basically using the argument that Renault's not competitive. Like, you're basically just telling an entire team, you're in our little elitist group, but they suck. They suck. So if you were to use their equipment, then they already suck. So you're gonna suck. Like, that doesn't make any sense. If I'm Renault, I'd have a chip on my shoulder this year. I would want to go and win everything, man.
It's not just Renault either. I mean, it's GM, it's the Andretti name, it's the American flagship. It's and the US might not have a good rap when it comes to world stages, but there's still people here that care about American motorsports.
Mm-hmm.
All right, American motorsports never did anything to you.
Well, and that was my next takeaway here as well, is the one that really stood with me the hardest was the fact that they said that the Andretti name, they're basically mooching off of the benefits of being in Formula One, and they wouldn't be getting benefit from the Andretti name. That rubs me the wrong freaking way, and I'll tell you why. You go out into the public and talk to any Joe Blow and say, name a race car driver, I guarantee the 2 names you're going to hear is Earnhardt and Andretti. 100%. Those are the 2 they're going to say. One of the other, maybe both. Everybody knows who Andretti is.
I mean,
it irritates me.
But the point is that they're trying to, like, I feel like what they're trying to do is, put their hand on top of somebody's head. All right, boy, just sit down, for the American motorsports groups. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even, I don't know. I feel like it was so out of hand. It was so asinine, backwards, that even trying to create an argument against it would make you look stupid because it's stupid in itself.
Yeah, you can't argue with insanity.
And I don't like it. Like I said, I just would like a logical reason why. I want the facts. The facts. I don't want what you feel like would be better for FIA or F1 or Andretti. The facts of what can Andretti bring to a race weekend? What is the the monetary value of Andretti bringing to F1 FIA? What is the monetary value of bringing money or to Andretti? What is the monetary value bringing it to the States? Obviously, we've seen a huge increase of American tracks. FIA sees something, F1 sees something with the American market. Why wouldn't you capitalize on an American team? Okay, an argument could be like, well, the last time we did that, look what happened to Haas. Okay, well, Haas also doesn't have the budget like Andretti does. All right? They've already got GM backing them. GM, the big three in North America, South America.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make sense.
And I'm glad you bring that up because that was my final takeaway on this whole ordeal. Is this, it might not look like it now, but I believe this is the beginning of a tipping point. This is the beginning of a new age in motorsports. This is the beginning of something brand new. And this is the two options I think that we see this going, right? If you look in America, what are the big four American brand names right now in motorsports? You have Ganassi, Penske, Rahal, and Andretti. Those are your big four American brand names, teams in American motorsports. They're all at IndyCar right now. IndyCar is a premier Formula racing series. Europe will tell you different, but it is. I hate to tell you that, all Europe listening right now. There's not all of you, because a lot of you guys I see that you guys appreciate IndyCar for what it is, but it is. And the only option we have here is if these four teams and these four brands go international with IndyCar. If we see an international take on IndyCar that could rival Formula One, that is an option there. But what I most see happening, and this is where I believe this is going, is I believe with this new interest in sports car racing, the LMDH, LMH, hypercar, GTP, hybrid era in sports car racing, the intrigue with manufacturers. We have BMW, you have GM, which is the most popular brand in North and South America. You look at the numbers, it is the most powerful car brand in this side of the world. Then you also have Lamborghini jumping in, Aston Martin's trying to get in, Renault Alpine's going involved in this. They also are under the same umbrella tier as FIA, same that Formula One is under, the same sanctioning body. I see with this growing interest, especially when you have those four names I mentioned, Rahal, Andretti, Penske, and Ganassi, all investing in this type of racing, I see a split. I see a world contender with this type of car, these manufacturers, these names contending against the F1 in a world stage. 2-hour races, only hypercars, and an unlimited amount of grid spots. And they are going to rival Formula One. I see this happening in the next 5 years. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, but I feel like that's where we're headed. I feel like that's on its way.
I feel like it would really have to depend on the state of F1 FIA, right? Because, like I said, Rich Boy Club, if the Rich Boys band and stick and band together, sorry, Penske, Ganassi, Andretti, Rahal, they're just not really part of that Rich Boy Club. But they can definitely make their own. I think a world stage is something that is needed anyways, other than F1 or WEC. Honestly, it would be awesome to see another world stage series like that, where it doesn't even have to be LMDH cars, right? It could be open wheel formula. It could be an existing car. It could be IndyCar. It could be, it could be Super Formula. It could be, I think there's a lot of options. I feel like though that if people keep getting rejected by racing organizations, and racing organizations keep suppressing teams and people, that we are going to see another series. We're going to see a split again. We're going to see the IndyCar, Champ Car sort of deal once again. And this time it's not going to be IndyCar. I smell a lot of trouble brewing in NASCAR with the whole charter deal. Garage 56 proved to be a huge success, and I'm honestly leaning towards more something like that. Honestly, a hybrid Garage 56 type deal where you could take the car on an oval, you could take the car on a road course, you can 24-hour race with it, you can sprint race with it. I mean, yeah, I mean, I agree. Something's got to give, though. Something's got to give.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see where this goes in the future. I don't know. I feel like this is the beginning of a new era. I really do. I feel like that this isn't going to go lightly. I mean, you make Mario Andretti mad, and he is. Yeah, I mean, I feel like some stuff's about to change in the international worldwide stage, and I'm excited to see where this goes. I feel like it's time that these owners that have invested all this time and effort into something, I think it's their time to stand and rise over the rich boy clubs of the world. And I feel like this is where it begins. This is where the line in the sand is being drawn, and it's all going to unravel in the next few years. I see it coming. I see it happening, and I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's get away from these elitist big boy groups.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Now that we've discussed that for a good portion of this podcast, actually, I would like to talk about some more news happened this week. Some notable news, at least. Hamilton to Ferrari in 2025. You showed me a screenshot of something earlier that was pretty interesting to me. So I mean, if you want to expand upon that.
Yeah. So like, in 2019, there was a rumor going around Hamilton to Ferrari. Like I commented on that, and I said, very ambitious. Wow. that didn't age well.
No.
So, but it just goes to show this rumor has been going around for a very long time. I can remember, Jay, we were in college, and I can remember seeing that rumor going around, and I always thought, man, that'd be the dumbest thing Hamilton can do. And I still agree with that statement, to be honest with you. I mean, come on. You got the best strategy team in F1 right now at Mercedes, and you're going to the worst strategy team in F1 right now with a management that is non-existent, with a bunch of spaghetti-eating, hairy armpit Italians going out there thinking they can do something. And Charles Leclerc can't even do anything. You know what I mean? Yeah, I am going there, actually. If Charles Leclerc can't do it, I don't think Lewis Hamilton can do it. You heard it here first.
I agree. I think the best part about all of this is we keep talking about it week after week, all the drama so far this year. I mean, it's been absolutely insane. It's headline after headline after shenanigans, clownery after, it's over and over so far to start this year. And this just hits the list as well. I mean, this is another one of these awesome moments. These Lulu fans, Merc fans, I mean, it's going to be a dang civil war out here, dude. How are they going to be able to wear red now? Like, they're going to have to throw on their Ferrari red, wave their flags, like their Merc gear is going in the trash. Like, this is absolute shenanigans, man. Like, this is hilarious. Like it
really is.
It's a battle within. I don't even know how it's going to resolve itself. This is going to be comedy to watch.
Look, you can compare it to Dale Earnhardt Jr. going from DEI to Hendrick. Except the only difference is that when Dale Jr. went to Hendrick, he just added another 8, and it was easy.
Yeah,
we're talking about
everything,
colors, cars. I mean, completely different car brands. I mean, this is honestly, this is going to be this is like a midlife crisis for Mercedes fans.
Yes. This is the midlife crisis for all of Lewis Hamilton's PR people, too. I mean, how are they going to be able to spin this? This is going to be an adventure to watch over the next 12 to 18 months as this plays out.
I mean, obviously, we see the end of Lewis Hamilton's career at Ferrari, right? He's not going to go back to Mercedes.
Mm-mm.
I just, you know, I don't. You know what? Just wow.
Yeah, just wow. We'll just have to see where this one goes. Oh man. All right, and then Dreyer Rainbold adds Ryan Hunter-Reay and old Cooter Daly to the Indy 500 this year, and also potential rumors that they might be looking at going to full time as soon as maybe next year.
Yeah. So when I was working in IndyCar, that was their promise every year. So I don't know how much I believe it, to be honest with you.
One of those things where you got to see it before you can believe it. Oh no, my Discord just shut down. Sorry about that. Get right back to this here. 1 second. Yes, my Discord just shut down there for a second. I'm sorry about that, guys. We're back now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. We're all good to go.
Okay.
Discord was having an issue there. All right, continue with what you were saying. Sorry about that, everyone.
You know, um, so with Dry Reinbold, like I said, they've been talking about it for years and years. It's just one of those things where it's like Lewis and Ferrari. You know, they talked about it for years and years and years, and it happened. That's cool. My only question is, what is Dreyer Reinbold thinking about picking up Cooter Daly?
Yeah,
that's
know.
Terrible. that's like colleague level clownery.
Cooter Daly and Jimmy Johnson are so similar in so many ways right now.
Did Matt Colleague be a part of that advisory board? Because fire the man, please. Give somebody else a chance. I mean, maybe Cooter's doing it because he's got a nice set of Dollar General knee pads, but still, it's not worth it.
Oh man,
it's not worth it.
I agree. I don't know what they're thinking with Cooter, but that adds to the field for the Indy 500 this year, so I guess that's one thing to look at. So we'll see how.
Wait, and you know what? Great choice with Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Oh, for sure.
Great. That is a grade A experienced veteran driver that you absolutely need when you're going into your first full-time season. You need him. That's a phenomenal choice. Great. The only way you screwed up was Connor Daly. Pick up Tristan Valtier, take him to Dreyer Reinbold, and make him your second driver. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Next, SVG part-time in the number 16 Colleague Cup car. I think this is the only win Colleague has made in the entire offseason. That's crazy. That's
W.
I can't believe he's actually going to do it, though, man. Like, as little that it literally looks like Colleague doesn't care anymore. Like, like you said on a podcast before, and I believe this is 100% true at this point. I've conceived to this idea. I think that Matt Colleague got way in over his head, thought this was going to be financially sound investment, and sponsors were just going to be lining up at his door, and that just didn't happen. And he is making just terrible decisions, trying to get his head above water, and I don't know. I feel like this whole Colleague saga is just crazy to me. I don't know, man. So crazy to me. It's unbelievable.
Well, one thing you could take away is SVG in the 16. Yeah. That's W.
Yeah,
and that's really the only one so far.
And they've shown they're capable of winning road courses. Colleague, I mean, that's their strength. Has been super speedways and road courses. No matter what series or whatever they've ran, they've always got a chance at those tracks. And this is just an ace in the hole right here. I mean, right?
And can we also say that how close Josh Williams was to making the Busch Clash in his debut?
Yeah.
Where was his teammate?
Yeah. Nowhere.
Non-existent.
Get used to it because that's what you're getting.
R.I.P. Yikes Matt Collig, go take a seat somewhere else.
Yeah, what did they say? If you can't hang out with the big boy, or if you can't, it's something to do. If you can't take the heat, then get off. Hey, get off the table or whatever. Yeah, can't eat at the big boy table, then go sit at the kiddie table.
If you're trying to mimic Matt Collig, just stop.
It's okay. Yeah.
I think that's what the saying is.
Yeah, I think you're right. Would Matt Collig do this?
What would Matt Collig do?
Yeah, exactly. That's a t-shirt right there, dude.
Whatever the answer is, you do a complete 180.
Yes. Oh, man. Alrighty. And then this is some other news here, V8 Supercar news. Brody Kostecki and Erebus having, I guess, some type of falling out. Again, the drama of this season, dude. It's crazy. I think this all has to do with him wanting to go to NASCAR. I mean, would you agree with that? I think that's what
absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely. And I think it has something to do with RCR too. I think Richard Childress wants him. Mm-hmm. I think he wants him bad because as a businessman, he realizes that Kostecki can bring something to the series.
Yes.
And it's smart.
And big money too. I mean, if that's what you're trying to do, because as long as he's been around Richard Childress, I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's not dumb. Like he's gonna figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, Behrman and Fittipaldi are signed as Haas F1 reserve drivers for this upcoming season. W with Behrman, L with Fittipaldi, L for Haas. I mean, I don't know. It's just the way I look at it.
It's going to be a cold day in hell when either Magnussen or Hulkenberg needs a replacement driver. It's going to be a really bad day when that happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whatever the circumstances may be, it's going to be bad. If they need to be replaced, then you know it's bad.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And then also going off of the whole hypercar era sentiment here that I talked about earlier, Aston Martin is looking at debuting their new hypercar at Le Mans. I don't know if they are planning on running the race or if they're just practicing the car or testing it. I don't know exactly where they're going with that. I was reading through the article a little bit. It's still up for air, but they're looking at a debut at Le Mans. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see it on track. I mean, I'm ready. I'm ready to see all these new cars, new manufacturers. I'm super excited for the WEC season to start. I really am. I think that the hybrid hypercar era is just freaking awesome. I love it. I think the cars are sick. I love the manufacturer backing. I love the team backing. I love just everything about it. It's just great. Super great.
Look, this is one thing WEC is getting right? More cars, more manufacturers, more money. Bigger audiences.
Yes.
That's how you do it. NASCAR needs to take notes.
I agree. They're doing everything right for sure at the WEC level and IMSA level. I mean, sports car racing is thriving right now, and it's great to see. Also, this was a little bit of a turn of events here. After we saw the Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari news, then they started getting rumored that Red Bull offered Albon a contract, and then he comes out the next day and says he's re-signed with Williams. So I don't know what to think about that. I feel like he already got wronged by Red Bull once. He's like, I'm not falling for that again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You know.
Alex Albon is a lost diamond in the motorsports world. It would have been the most egregious decision that he could have made to go back to Red Bull. That would have just been terrible. Nobody would have wanted to seen that. I will say one thing, though. I am kind of disappointed that Mercedes didn't reach out to Albon. Because, wow,
that is crazy too,
how amazing would it have been if Albon got to Mercedes?
Yeah, that is surprising for sure that he didn't go to Mercedes. Wow. That makes me wonder, who do you think is going to be in that Mercedes?
Well, I mean, you got
Frederick Vesti kind of in the whims there, but
no. I think Mercedes values Mick Schumacher more than Vesti. I think that I think that there are some drivers in the field that would make a jump. I mean, the first one off of my head is Fernando Alonso, but I also think that Mercedes realizes his age. Even though he's doing pretty good with Aston, it's only gonna last so long, and he's gonna drop off. But it pops up in my head. Drivers like Porsche. I'd look at it. I'd take a look at it. I wouldn't necessarily say absolutely, but there's really no driver right now that would be like absolutely.
Right.
Carlos Sainz is now on the market. Where's Carlos going to go? I would go out and say, I'm sorry, but Joe Granu hasn't done anything.
Mm-mm.
Maybe Sauber takes this opportunity to get rid of Joe and pick up Carlos Sainz, because that would be a W. Carlos Sainz and Valtteri Bottas. That's pretty stiff competition right there, for Sauber to have. Honestly, I mean, that's some top caliber drivers.
I mean,
yeah,
they've got a
exactly.
bright future. So,
and they could absolutely build something there. So, it's I don't know. I just right now, who I think is the top candidate, is Mick Schumacher. I don't know how I feel about that though. I don't think that Mick might do anything there. I mean, he was decent in the equipment at Haas, but Kevin Magnussen was just spanking him on a week in, week out basis, in terrible equipment. He even got a pole at Brazil. I mean, I know the circumstances, but come on, he got a pole. And so so there's Mick. I think Porsche could be one to look at. Vesti, sure. Alonso, possibly. I think that there's a lot of options on the table for Mercedes just because of their track record. I bet you money that, if Tsunoda got a call from Mercedes, as was like, Mercedes said, I want you, Tsunoda would cancel his contract. I'm sure he would. Who wouldn't? Even for a 1-year drive? Shit, that'd be my one time to prove that I am competitive. That is all I need.
mm-hmm.
As a competitive driver, that's all you need. 1 year. Especially if you're already a seasoned vet in F1.
Right. Yeah, I agree with everything you said, except for the Fernando one. I don't know how well him and Toto Wolff would mesh personality-wise. That would be kind of a wreck.
I'm just saying that because of Mercedes powertrain.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, it would be a good decision for all parties, for sure. I think it'd be just kind of weird.
Then again, like this year, Alonso could have a horrible year. He could do worse than Stroll. That's true. It's because of his age. But that's something you gamble on. But and you're always gambling in motorsports, So I don't know.
Nothing's a sure thing, even if it looks like a sure thing. Yeah.
But here's to say, Fernando Alonso still has it in the year 2023.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see in 24.
Yeah, I agree. Also, where are we at here? News. Oh, Larson testing an IndyCar I think yesterday or the day before. So that's awesome. I'm excited for it. Like I said, I want to see him win the double, man. Like, can you imagine if this happens? Like,
it'd be awesome.
The only thing that stinks about that, though, let's say he wins the 8,500, he's not even gonna be able to do the whole trophy celebration, dude. He's gonna have to leave. He's just gonna have to dip out. Like, we won't even get to go raise up on the elevator platform. But I think it'd just be worth it anyway, just to say that he did it both. I mean, he wouldn't be able to celebrate it. Dude, who cares? Yeah. I mean, how freaking awesome would it be if he got the? Well, I mean, I don't know. He's wearing the wreath as he gets off the helicopter, landing in Charlotte. Like, can you imagine like the freaking story and headlines that would be? Like, that's front news picture right there.
It'd be like that one South Park episode where Stan's dad is walking around with a wheelbarrow. you know what I mean?
I know exactly.
With the wreath around his neck.
Yes.
And he's just walking out of the helicopter like this.
Yeah.
Look at me.
I love it. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. We got Mad Duck with a wavy emoji, and he says, I'm putting my money on Ocon or Albon. Oh, and Mercedes. Oof. Part of me would love to see Ocon go to Mercedes, but don't know. Man. I loved it.
I still believe in the French dream. I
Me
still
too.
believe in it.
Me too.
I still believe in it.
I do.
But Albon signed with Williams, so unfortunately we won't see that. I really wanted to see Albon, though. I really did.
I think
really
that would have been
wanted
a perfect fit. I mean, he's already in with the Mercedes lineup, and I don't know, it'd have been a great move for him. But he sees something that we don't, and I feel like he is building something there at Williams. I mean, they were more competitive this year than they've been in a long time. So
yeah,
take that with a grain of salt, though. Things change and evolve really fast in motorsports. Also, Tom, NASCAR International Tracks, you talk about this one, actually.
All right, so there was a report that NASCAR has invited international track owners to come to the Daytona 500 race for a possibility of talkings with taking NASCAR International. All right. First off, again, we've been talking about this Aussie invasion for months now, and that is such a big W that I'm surprised that even NASCAR is jumping on board with that. But mainly grabbing the attention of countries outside of the U.S. That's huge, man. That's great. Getting other track owners to buy into NASCAR is huge. It is probably one of the biggest things that NASCAR can do right now to grow the sport. My only complaint is you guys are going to have international track owners come in, possibly set up an international race, expect all the teams to spend all the money to go to that international racetrack, but you guys complain that you can't increase the horsepower on the cars because it costs too much money?
Yep.
BS.
Yeah, how backwards is that, man? That's crazy. That's just crazy to me. I would love to see it. Like I think me and Tom have talked about it. There needs to be a companion race or a co-op or something with V8 supercars in Australia. But the interest that Australia has, and now Americans are getting interested in V8 supercars, what a perfect way to grow these brands together with a companion event. I think it would be freaking perfect. So I don't know. We'll see. I feel like if they do an international race, I feel like that's where they're going. They're going to Australia. I mean, where else would they want to go? I mean, honestly.
I don't know. Let's go race at Bahrain. How about that?
Oh, man. Let's do it. Can you imagine around like Jeddah or something? That'd be crazy.
Look, they almost ran an oval circuit in 2020. They called it the Sakir Grand Prix or something like that. It was almost an oval. Send it there.
That'd be sick. Alrighty, and then last one here, Christian Horner. You want to talk about this one, Tom?
Oh yeah. So wow, I don't know if you guys heard about this or not, but good Lord, has there been drama going on at Red Bull? My gosh. All right. So Christian Horner apparently said some transphobic things to a fellow employee, which launched an internal investigation at Red Bull, which has now turned into Christian Horner's days are reportedly numbered. Wow. I mean, we're talking about an era in F1 with Christian Horner that is now a possibility to end.
Yeah, an era that we'll never see again. What they did, I mean, that's a 1 in a billion right there. I mean, and now it's all coming down.
We're talking about the most drama-ridden, feisty, quick-witted guy we have probably ever been blessed with on planet Earth. Blessed or not blessed, I don't care. But, you know, and with, what was it, since 2007 or something we've had Christian Horner? To me, that is a massive loss to F1. His acting performance between himself, Toto Wolff, and the 40 different managers at Ferrari has been grade A Jersey Shore drama. You can't get it anywhere else, and it's all because of Christian Horner.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to get it again. If Christian Horner leaves or gets kicked out with Helmut Marko or whatever the reports say, I've been reading up on it all week because where's Netflix when you need them? I mean, we got a drama show right here.
Yeah, no doubt.
you know, It's going to be insane. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. This just like I said, dude. It's just drama after drama so far to start this year. It's insane. Like this,
The glow up, and it hasn't even started.
yeah, dude. We haven't even really kicked anything off yet. I mean, we're just right here in the freaking off.
We haven't even kicked off preseason testing yet.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, so tune in next week for your next round or daily dose of some drama because it's coming. It's already here.
We're going to find out probably by the end of the week what happens with Christian Horner, and you guys will see it right here on our Discord, YouTube, X, everywhere else. You'll see.
Yep, you'll see. It'll be here for sure. Alrighty. We are currently 45 minutes into this podcast. We haven't even talked about the Busch Light Clash. Let's get right into that. So, first off, before we start this talk about the Busch Light Clash, they had to move it up because of weather to Saturday night. Did that announcement a few hours before then. Redid the qualifying format. I think this qualifying format was dumber than Daytona 500 group qualifying. I think it was an absolute joke of a qualifying session. Like, what were they thinking? 6 cars in a group. You get 4 minutes. You can't put on new tires. You have to run the old worn scuffed tires. And then you send the first group out. They are just got no opportunity of making the race. Not one goal, not one ambition, because they're out there cleaning all the rubber off the track. How are you going to set a fast time? The first 2 groups were just absolutely obliterated. Done. No chance. Insane. And to put this in perspective, Briscoe was the final one to make it in on time, and he went in the first group. He was literally last of getting in. Like, that is insane to me. And then not only did that happen, but then also the last group got the shaft as well because they had to run all the old crappy rubber as well again that has been built up over the past few. This was dumb qualifying session. Absolutely garbage. Didn't like it at all. I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. I thought it was just a scam. It was we got ripped off.
It was dumpster for sure.
Yeah, like if I'm Chris Buescher and Christopher Bell, like I am disappointed. I'm completely disappointed in this whole weekend. Like you didn't even get a chance.
No.
Unbelievable. But anyway, going into the race, Denny Hamlin qualified on pole. He was in like group 3, so I mean that was the optimum group to be in. He ends up getting on pole. He led for the first part of the race. Then Gibbs takes the lead. One major incident there, though. This is where the race kind of lost its luster for me. I don't know if you agree, but they had that caution lap 71 because Gilliland had brake issues. Rotors were cherry red, and they stayed that way for minutes after this wreck. Crazy. I've never seen anything like that before. That was wild. That was crazy to me. And then they called so it's a caution. They got to get to the halfway point for the halfway break. We get the restart. Just shenanigans, bumping and moving people around the track. And then our good old boy, Corey LaJoy, ends up bringing out another caution with 1 lap to go before the halfway break. Dumps Nemechek, absolutely just missed the corner, drove through Nemechek, sends him around. And instead of going to the halfway break right there 1 lap short, half a lap short of completing that 75th lap, they end up doing another restart, dude. Another restart. So this really, at the end, killed Gibbs here. Logano gets by him. The drama starts between these two. This is where it escalates. This is where it initially begins because they're moving and bumping each other. Why? What, Tom? Can you explain to me why we're doing multiple restarts and we could have just called a halfway break at any? It didn't have to be the exact halfway number. Like, what are we doing?
Big Daddy NASCAR.
I was waiting for it. I love it. I thought it was a home run. I set that up for you. Like,
what do we say? The first Big Daddy NASCAR of the year, right here at the Coliseum. They couldn't even wait till the Daytona 500. They had to do it earlier in the day when we had to start the race, or the qualifying. The qualifying,
yeah. Oh my goodness.
Good Lord. We couldn't even go up. We couldn't even go through the Clash. We couldn't even wait for the Daytona 500. Good Lord.
Oh man. After that part of the race, the rest of the race was just mute to me. I didn't really care after that. I was just done.
Either.
Like it was just done. The whole like it was a great race up to that point. We ran green all the way through, like no drama, like no bumping and moving. It was just a clean old race, and then it just became a clownery show again. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's just multiple cautions. I could go over all of them. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go over the major stuff here. 10 laps to go. A caution. Chastain and McDowell were having a little bit of beef there on the backstretch. I think McDowell tried to back up the corner and shove Chastain in the wall. Chastain wasn't having any of it. He sends McDowell up into the wall. Oh my goodness. And that changed the race because from this moment on, Denny Hamlin had worked himself back up to third after fading through the field there after a couple of those restarts that got taken advantage of. He ends up sending it 3 wide on the inside of Gibbs and Logano, and Gibbs and Logano are already having a little bit of beef at this point. So this just amplifies it because Logano thinks that Gibbs ran him up the track, but in turn it was Hamlin who sent it in on the bottom. Hamlin takes the lead and then goes on to win the Clash of the Coliseum. We did have another caution there late when Gibbs got spun by Larson. Didn't really change the outcome though. Hamlin still wins the race. And I'm still good on my bold prediction though. He hasn't won a points race yet. So, and if you guys saw the intro to this podcast with the old scene at the office, that's what I want to talk about next is before we talk about all the drama and whatnot afterward. The Fox broadcast is just, it's terrible. I mean, it's
so
just
bad.
It's getting so bad. I mean, we started off with what she's probably a nice lady. I don't know her. She's probably a nice lady, really is. But they do this whole like 5-minute her walking around the studio trying to be funny. I don't know. It was just terrible. But
again, that was the introduction for
yes.
Kevin Harvick, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
No, that was just
that
was so
cringe, dude.
Oh my god, it was hard to watch.
Bad. It was like she was trying so hard to be funny.
Oh,
she really
so
was.
hard.
You know, I get it. You're trying to appease your audience, but good God, please don't try that hard again.
No, it was bad. And what makes it worse, though, is there was a producer that had read the script, they had rehearsed it, and then signed off on it.
Oh my god.
Oh man, that was where it began. Oh man.
That script got the stamp of approval, by the way.
How embarrassing. And what's sad about it too is Fox used to be the premier broadcaster of motorsports. I mean, they were outperforming NBC or TNT back in the day. ESPN even couldn't hold a candle to these guys. I mean, Fox killed it back in the early 2000s, and it's just how far it's fallen down. And then the other thing, especially why I did that intro clip, they spent the entire, besides that 5-minute whatever the hell that was, the other time they spent talking about Denny Hamlin not winning a damn championship. The whole time. Just everybody, just Denny Hamlin championship, Denny. I'm just like, come on, man. Nobody, like, we know. We don't need to be reminded of it, like, all the time.
They were shoving it down our throats, and it's like, okay, we get it. We watched it. He didn't win the championship, okay? We get it. Like, stop.
Yeah. It's like there's like 3 things in life you can count on. Like always happening. Your birthday, Christmas, Denny Hamlin not winning a championship. Those are the 3 things I got marked on my calendar every single year. They're gonna happen. So we don't need to be getting that. So yeah, that was just a terrible look. I don't know. It was just whatever. After the race though, Logano and Gibbs having an argument. Like, did you see that at the trailer, the hauler? I mean, what was that, dude? That is comedy at its finest. Like, they didn't even look back at each other. If you were listening to what they were talking about, they were just like, I don't even know. It wasn't even a fight. There was nothing there. Like, the content wasn't there. Like, it was just like 2 little like kids arguing about getting the last donut out of the box.
Exactly
like,
what it is. It was the fight for the last Lego in the tote. You know, it's like, it's not even the same color as your build, bro. Like, chill out.
Yeah, that was
It doesn't
so
matter.
awkward.
It was just it was over some crap that happened at a terrible racetrack,
Yeah.
with a terrible series, with a terrible car, with a terrible driver. Nobody cares. Sorry, there's no points. Who cares? It's just whatever, man.
Yeah, who cares? At the end of the day, who cares? I mean, honestly. And it's not like, I don't know.
You know what? Let it flow into the Daytona 500.
I mean, it's great. It's great entertainment for us. I mean, it gives us something to talk about on Tuesday, so I'm here for it. It just looked silly. That's all you can say.
I was really hoping we would see some fists flying, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I want to talk about next is all the other disputes that we got. We got Recchi and Nemechek arguing after the race. I mean, there's nothing good there. I mean, it's Recchi. And then we had Recchi and McDowell having their issues during the race. And me and Tom even talked about it when we were watching. They were like, wouldn't it be just absolutely great if we saw McDowell and Recchi fight? That fight would be over before you knew it. McDowell would just absolutely
pummel.
Oh yeah, Ricky would be his little brother at that point. His little child. Like he would own Recchi in a fight, man. I wanted to see it, dude. I really did. I was looking forward to it.
Here's what I really enjoyed about Recchi and his little beefs that he had is when he went up to Nemechek's car and his window net was still up, you could just see him. He's walking over there like this, and then goes over to the window and he's trying to yank down on the latch and he's sitting there and then he gets both hands on it and he yanks it down and then he puts his head in there and he's going like this, It's like, bro, you're not that guy.
No, you're not that guy at all.
I thought that was very comical.
Yeah. He's got big boy syndrome. That he was beefing with everybody, man. Like
he really was.
I think he got into Chastain at one point, and they started throwing blows at each other. And then, I don't know, man. He he wanted to fight everybody, man. Recchi had big boy syndrome that night for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man. Alrighty. Is there anything else you want to talk about with the Busch Clash? I feel like we covered the race, the win, the drama, the terrible Fox broadcast. I guess what's your opinion of Kevin Harvick? Mine hasn't changed. I think if him and Boyer continue to just keep throwing shade at each other, I feel like that's what the whole season is at this point. That's all they got. That's it.
Yeah.
They focus so hard on them just throwing shots at each other all night. It's like that's what it's gonna be. Get used to it. That's it. That's Fox now.
It's just weird. It's just really weird. I don't know. Whatever. Can we please race somewhere else in the freaking Coliseum?
Yeah,
please.
I agree. And that's a good point. That's a good point because we talked about this off stream. The Clash is essential for NASCAR. Every other professional sport has a preseason, right? This is NASCAR's version of a preseason. We don't have preseason testing. They don't have any of that. This is just a one-off. Shouldn't care. Race for money. Race for pride, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. But let's rotate it, man. Like let's send it international. Let's do whatever we want. It's 2 weeks before the Daytona 500 anyway. We can run it on a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, Sunday. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where we race it. Let's just run it around. Let's just send it off and do whatever we want with it. Let's make stuff up, run new packages, new rules, whatever. Test stuff with it. Who cares? It's for nothing anyway. Nobody should care. You think Denny Hamlin's life's better today because he won the Clash of the Coliseum? No. And he's made that blatantly obvious that the only thing he has left on his list is the championship. So, I don't know. That's the way I look at it. It might mean something more to a different driver. Like if Ty Gibbs would have won that, I bet it would have meant the world to him. But to most of the veteran drivers, they didn't really care. I wouldn't care. So I don't know. All right, driver of the week. Tom mentioned this earlier. Josh Williams, valiant qualifying effort, got the absolute shaft, being the first group there, and still a couple spots short of making the show with colleague, by the way. First time in a Cup car, next gen Cup car. I mean, great showing for him. I'm excited to see what he does in his other starts that he makes this season. Also, Brad Keselowski. This didn't get talked about it enough, but he finally makes the Busch Light Clash Coliseum. Took him 3 years, but he did it. He did it. He can forever say now that he did at least run one race at the Coliseum. So we'll nominate him. And then also, I want to nominate Blaney. Blaney also, like Josh Williams, got the shaft, was the last group on the track, had no really opportunity to make the race. He ends up missing out, but he gets the champion's provisional to get into the race, starts dead last on the field, and drives up to P3 to finish the race. What more can you do? It was awesome. Took a terrible situation, turned it to gold. And like Jared said a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, he wants to see great things from Blaney this year. He's already off to a great start. I think his confidence is at an all-time high, man. Like, there was like right there in 2022, you could just tell how dejected he was. Even the start of 2023, I mean, it looked like Blaney's career was over. And like Jimmy Sixtime mentioned on one of those on that video, that didn't age well. No, it didn't. I don't know what happened, what clicked, what fire got lit, but Blaney is a whole new person, driver. It's awesome to see. It's great to see. He's Hollywood, man. NASCAR needs him to be on this streak that he's on right now. So good to see.
And boy, is it great to see that 9 car in the back. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he got his butt spanked by his teammates. I swear, all of his teammates are running up front, and then he's running in the back, and then blows up or something happened to his engine. I don't even know. It's gonna be a long year for you Elliott fans, if Alabama Bama Man fan clan. And then Bonehead of the Week, Christopher Bell, didn't qualify, but again got the shaft. Last group, same with Buscher. I'm gonna put him in there as well. Didn't qualify, also got the shaft. And then also I gotta nominate this guy, Corey LaJoie. And this guy, man, this guy literally needs to be sponsored by like bulldozers or cat. He needs the cat sponsorship.
Tonka.
Is what he needs.
No,
Tonka.
he needs a Tonka sponsorship.
He is an absolute joke. I mean, I can't. I used to think he was awesome. I was like, man, he's gonna do something great in his career. And then, ever since he got that opportunity with Hendrick, I mean, yes, it wasn't a good opportunity. It was a good opportunity, but it really didn't work out in his favor. But then after that, it just turns into an absolute bulldozer. Like every week, it's set towards the end of the year, he was running somebody over, and he starts off 2023 or 2024 in the same way. Look for him to be the third wheel there at Spire. His rookie teammates are going to outperform him on a weekly basis. Get ready for it.
Yep.
Alrighty, there's a couple more things I want to talk about here, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Tom, we're gonna go over our way too early fantasy lineup for the Daytona 500. My 5-driver lineup is Keselowski, Busch, McDowell, and Hamlin. That's what I'm looking at as my early predictions. What do you got, Tom?
I got Hamlin, Keselowski, Logano, Buescher, and Wallace.
So we got a lot of similar ones there.
It's going to be a Ford and Toyota show.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to definitely be. I think Ford's going to be really dominant.
Ford's going to be dominant. Yeah.
And
I
then,
agree.
And then for matchups here, which I think are freaking intriguing, especially after all the drama we saw there at the Clash, they end up putting Logano and Gibbs as a matchup. I got Logano.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think same. That's like we said, the Fords. And then they put McDowell and Stenhouse. Which I got McDowell. I mean, McDowell just knows how to find his way to the end of these things. Ricky does too, but like I said, Ford's going to be it this year. I think they're going to have it. Yeah. They're going to do good at the Daytona 500.
I agree.
And then Chastain and Reddick, which they also had a little bit of beef in that race as well. So I picked Chastain. I think he's a better late racer than Reddick is.
Yeah, same.
It's not even close.
Same. No, same.
And then they also put the two rookies, Zane Smith and Kevin Harvick. I got Zane Smith because I don't really believe in Josh Berry. I don't believe him. I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, I don't believe in him. First off, even he had top tier equipment and Xfinity, he couldn't do anything with it, and now he's with Stewart Haas, which is bottom tier now. Yeah. And you think he's going to do anything? No. Mm-mm. I mean, that's like saying.
Well, and he's got Rodney Childers as a crew chief, so that ain't helping it either. I mean,
and Daniel Hemrick won an Xfinity championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right.
He's not doing shit anywhere else.
Yeah. He only won
That's
one
exactly
race.
what's going to
The
happen
only
here.
race he had to win.
Yeah, only one. Yeah, one race win on his resume and one championship. That's freaking crazy. Do you know that?
Yeah, and he's been around for
What a stroke of luck.
years.
What a stroke of luck.
Dude, unbelievable. That's
Anyway.
that's the only reason he's still in NASCAR. He's gonna literally live off that one win championship combo for the rest of his days.
Yep.
Alrighty. Two more things here that we've been saving to the end. So if you've stuck around this long and heard us talk about this at the beginning, we're gonna do it now. First off though, before we go into the main cap for the evening, I want to talk about the Full Speed documentary. The new NASCAR 2023 playoff 5-episode documentary they have on Netflix. One takeaway that I have is everybody saying that Denny Hamlin, I mean, they really, really rode that train all the way through that series. He was kind of the star, I guess. He was the main character, protagonist, they would say. And then also Booty Barker, Bubba Wallace's crew chief, they talked a lot about him as well. He kind of became a little bit of a star on that show as well. But my biggest takeaway from this documentary, I think it was really well done. I think it was really well put together. They touched on the pretty much most important stuff. They were trying to build certain stars, whether it be Reddick, Hamlin, Bubba, Bell, Byron, the guys that they talked and focused on mostly. But my biggest takeaway is Christopher Bell. After the last episode was focused on the NASCAR championship race, Christopher Bell, we all know what happened. Ends up brake failure, went into the wall, wrecked. Then he goes back to the hauler and they had the camera on him and he's all talking and he said just his mannerisms, I guess, and the way that he kind of processed that whole situation and what he said and him and his wife together talking about it, the emotions that were running high. I don't know, just something about it. I really want to see Christopher Bell succeed in NASCAR. Like I think his story is humbling. He's got a lot of doubters, I guess you'd say, and he hears that criticism quite often, I guess, is what he perceived it as, and he just wants to prove everybody wrong. He loves racing race cars, and he just wants to prove everybody wrong. And that little scene, it was probably a 2-3 minute scene, but that scene made the whole documentary for me, and my level of respect for Christopher Bell, and I guess my want for him to succeed is just now. Like before then, I could care less about Christopher Bell at all. Like I really could care less, but that scene really did it for me. Other than that, pretty good show. I recommend it. I know Tom hasn't seen it yet, but I would recommend it if you get a chance.
Yeah. Someday,
yeah. I mean, it's not like the greatest show ever, but I mean, it was done well. Like it wasn't. They didn't take any shortcuts or anything. So,
is it like Drive to Survive when they're still using V10 sounds?
Yeah. No, well, kinda. I mean, I don't know. You'd have to watch it. I mean,
Okay.
it's interesting. Alrighty, final segment here of this week's podcast is our. Okay, well, let's just set this up. So, me and Tom have kind of been thinking about this, putting together a list: 10 most prestigious car races, emphasis on car, auto races in the world. In our opinion, in our general opinion, we ranked them in the top 10 according to our top 10 or what races we thought were the top 10 races in car races in the world. I based mine purely off of difficulty to win, maybe prestige, pageantry, how long has it been ran, if I was a racing driver, which one would I want to win? That's how I set my top 10. So with that being said, we did leave out Dakar, like Isle of the Man, Rally, Monte Carlo, like stuff that we don't necessarily cover here on this channel, rally and motorcycle style racing. So keep that in mind. I'll go over my list, Tom, and then I'll let you run through yours. So I put at the top Indy 500. This is the one race a year that when I watch it, I just get chills. It's just the pageantry, the build up, when they do the songs and the introduction and everything at the beginning with the trumpet and the playing of the Indiana's song and everything that goes with that. The celebration at the end of the kissing of the bricks, and then the wreath, and then the milk. Like, it's just the whole thing. The progression of the race, the strategies play out. The people that are good at the beginning that go and become good at the end. I mean, there's not much more I need to say about the Indy 500. It's Indy 500. Next, I put the 24-hour Le Mans, just because this is the ultimate test of motorsports in the world, in my opinion. It's very, very difficult to win. All of the best manufacturers, best drivers, best teams, best names in motorsports show up to run this race and try to win it. And the prestige that it holds is there. Next, I was going to put Monaco, but I'm going to save that for the next one. I'm going to put Bathurst at number 3. Bathurst 1000. This track is absolutely one of the most difficult tracks in the world. I mean, it is absolutely insane. Some of the names that have won this race are incredible. 2 drivers run in this race, like endurance races. It's not like a typical supercar race. So I think it just holds, just off of difficulty value alone, holds a good spot here. 4th, I'm going to go with Monaco. Just because it's one of the oldest races ran. 1929 was the inaugural one. So we're closing in on 100 years here soon at the end of this decade. Predates Formula One. The pageantry, the backdrop, everything that goes with it just makes it a great race. 5th, I'll put Daytona 500 just for the NASCAR homers. It is the great American race. It's the most viewed race. I mean, it's recognizable as prestigious in its own right. Next, I'm putting the 24 Hours of Nürburgring. It's just a difficult track. 24 hours around there. A lot of the great names have won this race. It's very, very difficult track, and that's why it's going to reach this point on my list. I put the big three 24-hour races on my list, and this had to find a spot here. I was splitting hairs with this and my next one, which is the Rolex 24. I just think that they both hold the same value in my eyes, but I have to give the Nürburgring the nod over Rolex just because of the difficulty, of course. And Rolex is ran at Daytona. It's just, I don't feel like it has the prestige there that the Nürburgring has. And then also I'm going to put Pikes Peak Hill Climb on here as well. Personally, just because I think this race is just freaking awesome. I think if anybody is to ever set a fast time there or was able to climb that hill and set a record, I mean, that's just a crazy achievement. And personally, I think this would be an absolute thrill and a rush to do myself. Like, this is something that I would want to do. Like, I think it's just sick. So that's why I made my list at 8. Also, had to slide in the Southern 500 here just because it is the most difficult oval in the world. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't care what other track you guys have in mind. This is the most difficult oval here. Nobody has ever lucked into a Southern 500 win. Nobody has ever backed into one. There's never been a fluke Southern 500 winner ever. So it's definitely got to make my list. And then I have to put the most prestigious dirt race on here, right? The Chili Bowl. I mean, you've got 300-400 people show up to this event every year. The odds of winning it are just stacked against you. You've seen so many of the greats either win, fail trying to win, not qualify in, struggle, find successes. So the highs and the lows that this whole week has to offer. And it is the most prestigious dirt race in the world. And it's a fact. And I mean, the different types of drivers that attempt to run this, the greats of motorsports, have all thrown their hat at a ring to try this event. So I think it holds value on my top 10 list. Right there at the bottom. 10. All right, Tom.
All right, I want to preface this by saying I truly believe that all of the races listed are extremely prestigious, extremely hard to win, especially with the competition that we have nowadays, and that really any variation is right. It's really hard to put these in a top 10 tier, but I'm going to try my best. So, and you're going to see a lot of similarities between Jay and I, just because it's the truth. So
It is.
all right. So the first one, it's got to be the Indy 500. This thing's been running since 1911. Right out of World War I, going into some crazy historical events like the 1920s, the Great Depression, World War II, going through all of the Cold War crap that happened, and it's still going on today. I mean, that is just an insane timeline. I mean, we're what, 113 now? This year will be 113th running of it. With an asterisk because we did miss a year or something like that, 1 or 2 years, I can't remember, but whatever. It's insane. All right. Not only that, you have 32 cars on track, open wheel cars on an oval going 230 miles an hour, or 232 qualifying, 226 average, 225 average race pace, something like that, without draft. Insane. You got to have some major cojones to do that. Really. I ran a couple years at the Indy 500, and I can just remember when the cars came down the front stretch 3 wide, hitting the green flag. It was a rush of emotion. You could literally feel the historical value of the place just glow up. I mean, it was just it's a feeling that I've never felt before. You have to be there. And I may be a little biased because I did get to experience it, but I think there's a lot of different variables that goes into it. I just think it's number one. Number two, definitely the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I mean, we're talking about the pioneer of endurance racing. With the 24 Hours of Le Mans. You got that on your resume as a winner. You can do a lot. You could go anywhere and have that on your resume, and people will do double takes because you won that race. It's just like I said, it's the pioneer. It's a landmark event that happens every year, obviously, but I mean, it's just another one of those extremely prestigious races. My third on the list is Monaco, just for the difficulty and really the prestige behind it too. I mean, it's been on the calendar since the original running of Formula One, when we were still looking at closed wheels cars in Formula One. So extremely difficult to win, extremely tight race course. Everything's got to go right to win that race. Everything. I mean, even from the sip of milk that you take in the morning before the race, it's got to go right. So that's number 3 for me. Number 4, I'll go into a little bit of circle track here because same year, same time frame as Monaco, Daytona 500. We're talking about the premier stock car oval race in the world. You got the Daytona 500 win on your resume, as well as the others. Again, people are going to take double takes on your resume. Anything with a stock car, they'll probably give you a chance. Number 5, the 24 Hours of Daytona. I think that it's a extremely important, prestigious race. I think that a rival race to the 24 Hours of Le Mans is not only 1, necessary, but 2, healthy competition. We see drivers from all over the world come in and want to win this race. I mean, to me, the competition is either as stiff or more stiff than the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I think it's a premier sports car race. It's a premier prototype race. I think that, it's definitely one to have on your resume. Again, I feel like somebody would double take if you had this on your resume as a win. Number 6, I really battled hard with the Daytona 500 and this race. And honestly, if I could time for 5th, I would, and I would just skip 6th and go to 7th. But the Bathurst 1000, like Jay was saying, endurance race, sprint race, 2 drivers, kind of like, what the heck is going on here? But prestigious. Everybody who has ever won a race there has been a big name driver. That is the value of the Bathurst 1000. I think that like I said, it was such a hard pick, but nonetheless, we're talking big, fat, heavy race cars on an extremely tight track on windy corners through a mountain, on top of a mountain, going up the mountain, coming down the mountain, doing some crazy, weird corners at the bottom of the mountain, and then going right back up it. Crazy. The next two is Formula One related. I'm going to put Monza at P7 and then Spa at P8. Mainly just because it's Monza. It's Spa. I mean, if you were at Monza, you won that race. You beat the Tifosi. If you were with Ferrari, you won a race for Tifosi. That's the greatest thing in the world that you can get. Honestly, it's a win-win situation. If you just win the race, no matter the manufacturer, holy cow. I honestly believe Monza is a highly prestigious race, and it's awesome. We still get to go there. Spa, same thing. Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium is just a landmark racetrack. It'll forever go down in history as a premier racetrack. It will always hold space in motorsports Hall of Fame for tracks, if you will. It's just a track that every driver wants to win at. For my 9th race, I'll go back to oval track here with the World 600. Paramount. It is classic. It is a test of man and machine. 600 miles around Charlotte Motor Speedway. I mean, you're doing more of a race than the Daytona 500 at a track where you have to hit the brakes and have precision. I don't think you can. I honestly think that the World 600 is a more difficult race than Daytona 500, pretty close to the Southern 500, just because of the mileage and the precision it takes to keep that thing on track for that long. I did not come up with a 10th race because it's so hard for me to get the right tracks, the right races all in one. You know, Jay brought up good points. Nürburgring, that is a iconic, will forever be in Motorsports Hall of Fame. Pikes Peak, what an amazing stretch of road. I mean, it's a road, that they go and race on. I mean, insane. And all the classes that they have going up there, all the different runnings that they have going up, all the different manufacturers. I mean, it's insane what they do at Pikes Peak. The Chili Bowl. I mean, you got to throw Dirt Oval in there. It is a hidden gem in the motorsports realm. It really is. It really is. I don't feel like a lot of people follow dirt racing except for Southern or the Southern atmosphere. So, I kind of feel like that's a crime. I really do. The Southern 500, you can't not put that on your list. I mean, it's the Lady in Black. It's that one race every year that we go to that everybody just gets so freaking hype about. And it's such an amazing race every year. I'm going to take my 10th slot and really dedicate it to all those tracks that we just talked about, because it's just not enough. It's not enough. And like I said in my preface that I said before I started going off, the order that you have may differ from mine, but it's still right. Mm-hmm. All of these tracks hold a massive part in motorsports history and making motorsports what it is today.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of the ones that you put as well were some that I just had right there. I wanted to put them in. Like 10 wasn't enough, right? Like
it wasn't.
If there was a 20 list, I think I could have probably made a good 20 list, but
absolutely.
I wanted to do top 10 for sure. And I'm so glad that you brought up Spa, because Spa is just, I love Spa. I should have put it on there, honestly. I love Spa so much.
It's so hard.
There's just something about that track that's just, Spa, man. It's Spa. Like, it's just,
I mean, all those memorable moments, Michael Schumacher, debut race with Benetton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, absolutely slapped everybody upon the side of the face in qualifying. Unfortunately, blows a motor in the race 2 laps in. Uh, I mean, honestly, I could literally say every year from 2009 till now, Formula One race, when Ferrari was on their dominant streak at Spa, when Williams was still winning championships, when we had the reverse down, or I'm sorry, the fan car, the fan at the back of the car pulling air underneath it, going through Eroge. I'm sorry, I always get it wrong, but or Redallion, sorry, going up the S there on the front straightaway. I mean, there's just so many things revolved around Spa that you just it's. But top 10 list, where do you put it? Where do you put anything? Honestly,
Yeah, it's very difficult. We challenged ourselves for sure on this one this week.
yeah.
And then also one more thing to add to that though is we put a mixture of all of the races on Memorial Day. I'm just saying this now. There is no better day as a racing fan than waking up the Sunday before Memorial Day. That is my Christmas, honestly.
Yeah.
I love it. I love waking up extremely early to catch Monaco, and then you just your whole day you set up around all of the events that happen during that day, and it's just you love the build up getting to that day, and then it happens, and then it's over, and then you're like, oh, I gotta wait another year. It's just another level that you can explain. And I think that it should honestly be a national or a worldwide holiday. They should call it Motorsports Day, and everything should be shut down. Everybody should be glued to their TVs watching the races. It's up there. Like, it should be like one of those events like soccer in Europe where they all tune in to watch whatever Premier League, Champion, UEFA, whatever that is. But like the Super Bowl in America, like it should be like that. Everybody just rallies around that day and just dedicated to racing. That's what it's about. It's great. Good food, good cold beer, and motorsports on my TV. Love it.
Yep.
Alrighty. All right, let's wind this thing down. Thanks to Dalton and Mad Duck for coming into the chat tonight. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I would like to say thank you to everyone who's liked, commented, and subscribed to our channel over these last few months, this whole year that we've been on here. We're closing in on that 1 year mark. We're less than a month away now. Yeah, that's crazy to think about. But yes, we're on the road right now to just keep growing. Like I said, I don't want to put numbers down. I just want to just keep growing. I just want to keep building this awesome racing platform here with you guys and keep interacting with you guys and just growing to become the premier racing platform on the internet. And that's what we have, and that's what we're on our way to do. I want to thank our channel members, Jimmy Six Time and Dallas Seward. They're both members of our channel. If you would like to become a member of our channel like them and get a shout out in every one of our live streams and videos, go check them out. We got 3 tiers right now. I think we shrunk it down. So we got the Ultimate Diehard, which is Jimmy Six Time. Lots of benefits that come along with that tier system. So we thank you so much for joining our Ultimate Diehard package. And then also the Boys package, which is where Dallas is at. A lot of good tiers there as well. And then also there's a rookie package for you as well. So there's a package there for just about everybody. So if you guys would like to become a member and help our channel out more, all of that goes back to helping us create more and better and exciting content here for you guys here on YouTube. Also, Big Daddy IMSA hats, merch, gear is in the shop now. I ordered mine right after we put it up on the store, and it came yesterday, and I've just been rocking it ever since. I love this hat. I love the Big Daddy IMSA stuff, and we're just gonna keep it coming. Big Daddy moments of the year. Also, Tom the legend has put in a godly amount of time and effort and research and put together this awesome looking Discord. Holy cow. It's got everything in there. I mean, it's literally like a website, a social platform, a forum. I mean, it's everything that you need to know about racing. It's all in one place, one spot. If you don't have Discord, download the app. Join our Discord. That link is in the description of this video. It's also on our community page as well. Go in there, check some stuff out. It's fantastic. stuff. I mean, there's news. I mean, it's crazy. You can talk to other people about racing. I mean, everything's racing. It's an awesome platform. It's a great place to go. So check out our Discord. Also, go follow us on all of our socials: X, Facebook, TikTok, and also if you want to become a member of our Patreon, there's some big stuff coming to Patreon. Any type of content we cannot put on YouTube, including like the full-length crash compilations, any unfiltered content that me and Tom or the Dega Boys have created, will all go up on our Patreon. And so if you go and subscribe to our Patreon, you'll get access to all that stuff. A lot of great content on there now and in the future as well. So stay tuned for that. Also, I feel like I'm missing something here. Oh, fantasy. NASCAR Fantasy, Formula One Fantasy. I put the link for the NASCAR Fantasy in the community page. It's also in our Discord as well. So if you want to join the Dega Boys Fantasy League for NASCAR 2024, go do that now. And you have to get your picks in before the Daytona 500. I think it's half an hour before the race or an hour before the race. You got to make your picks. So go make an account. Go sign up for our league. The password and everything is right there on the community page as well as our Discord. So come play some NASCAR Fantasy with us. See, kick our butts and prove that you're better at this racing stuff than we are, because I suck at NASCAR Fantasy. And then we're also going to be doing Formula One Fantasy as well. Once that gets available to us to create a team or create a league, we will do that. And we'll also send that out to you guys as well. And we'd love to have fun playing NASCAR Fantasy with you guys, or NASCAR and Formula One Fantasy with you guys as well. Tom, broadcast, anything you got to talk about there?
Yeah, we got a lot coming on here. Look, this Thursday, backmarkers, we're going to, wow, I can't believe I'm saying this. We're going to freaking Willow Springs, man. That's crazy. I don't even know. All right, look, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. And, yeah, you need to be there for sure. Backmarkers this Thursday, normal time, 8 o'clock. Make sure you guys show up. Saturday, we're going once again with the PSCRL guys. We're going to the Chicago Street Course, which is another wow. We're going to be giving you guys lots of road course racing content with some stock cars. It's going to be great. It's going to be packed full of action. We're going to be watching some people eat some walls for sure. So lots of cool stuff happening there. Look, we got Nexus Sim Racing starting back up too. Look, let's see. 18th of February, Sunday. We're going to be broadcasting qualifying for the IMSA Daytona race, which will be the week after, February 25th. All right. February 21st is the Daytona race, with the NASCAR Truck Series. We're going truck racing with NSR this year. And then on Monday Formula Series, we're going IndyCar racing. That starts February 26th at Sebring. Got lots of cool stuff heading forward for you guys. Look, we got some freaking stacked fields for NSR. We got some freaking stacked fields in PSCRL and back markers. It's going to be a phenomenal time. Look, I'm so excited just to start that back up and be back on our streaming schedule with all of our leagues. Just super excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, I am. I'm stoked. I'm ready to start broadcasting all week again.
Yeah,
we've
me
got
too.
we're going to be streaming a ton. Holy cow. Also, I did schedule the Daytona 500 watch party on the community page or on our live stream page. So we will be doing that. So make sure to stay tuned for another one of these fun watch parties. And we cannot wait to see you guys there. Can't wait to see you guys again next week on this podcast. We'll be going full in depth with everything going on at Daytona for the Daytona 500 weekend. I think that pretty much covers everything here tonight. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and we will catch you guys all in the next one. And enjoy the rest of your evening.
Fireworks or a race car. Doesn't have to be a race car. Use your imagination.
There's this cube on the screen, and it bounces around all day, and sometimes it looks like it's heading right into the corner of the screen, and then at the last minute it hits a wall and bounces away. And we are all just dying to see it go right into the corner. Ah, come on!
Yeah, I know.
It's never gonna happen.
Here's what I was thinking.
You gotta believe.
Waiting for it.
Like something that you have to look for.